broken. Tied up right now. Gets it back from Claxton. Shot clock at 4. Irving fires away. Got it! A two-pointer for Kyrie Irving.
And I think he might have saluted them.
The most important question for these NBA Finals: will the Boston Garden boo Kyrie Irving? If so, it's a wrap. Wait, was this destiny? The moment Kyrie stomped on the Boston logo as a Brooklyn Net, ironically, the Dallas Mavericks logo is seen in the background with the word next. Oh, my popcorn's ready.
You got the popcorn ready right now. Popcorn ready. How in the world are you gonna stop? How in the world are you gonna stop? How in the world are you gonna stop this duo?
What's up, my homies? It's Edible Buckets, and today, the Dallas Mavericks meet the Boston Celtics in the 2024 NBA Finals. Kyrie Irving playing his former team. Kristaps Porzingis playing his former team. The Celtics take aim at banner number 18, which would propel them into the solo category of most successful NBA franchise, topping the Lakers' 17 titles, while the Mavericks shoot for title number 2. Same for Kyrie. The number 1 option of each team, Luka and Jayson Tatum, each seek their first ring. Who takes home the 2024 title? How have these two teams fared against each other in recent history? First and foremost, how cool is it that we get to see an NBA Finals matchup between Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics? I'll be making a separate video covering the story and rivalry of Kyrie Irving and Boston. But for now, let's dive into the matchup history of the Mavericks and Celtics. The Mavs were on a heater to end the regular season, winning a whopping 16 of their final 20 games, and even won 11 of 12 during that run. As they quite often say in sports, it's about playing well at the right time. Who's hot when entering the dance? The Mavericks were the pinnacle of that. The Celtics have also been unbelievably hot, 12-2 in the playoffs, and funny enough, also won 16 of their final 20 regular season games. They won 9 in a row during that run. So this year, the Celtics went 2-0 versus Dallas. The first game was back in January, where Boston won by 9 in Dallas. Although, of course, there was no PJ Washington nor Daniel Gafford quite yet. But they did play in their second matchup, which I'll get to after this. On the Celtics side, they did not have Porzingis, who may miss some of the finals. So in this first game, Dallas led by 2 after the first quarter, before allowing the Celtics to score 41 in the second. The game was pretty even team stat-wise, as Boston had just 1 more 3 than Dallas, while the Mavericks had just 4 more rebounds, but also had 4 more turnovers than Boston. The biggest difference maker was the free throws. Boston had 16 more attempts, and made 12 more than Dallas. Tatum went 39 and 11, and Jaylen Brown had 34. In a losing effort, Luka mustered a triple-double at 33, 18, and 13, and Kyrie had 23. Tim Hardaway even produced 20 points, who hasn't seen as much playoff action as he did in the regular season. The Mavs lost by just 9 without their key future acquisitions, while also not getting to the free throw line nearly as much as Boston. I believe this game would have been very different if it was later in the year. Not saying Dallas would have won per se, but it definitely would have been super tight. In their second and final meeting of the year prior to the finals, the Celtics dominated by 28 at home. Tatum again led the way with 32, Brown with 25, and Porzingis had 24. This was after the big trade deadline for Dallas, but Daniel Gafford only played 6 minutes this game. But the Mavericks really did have some poor defense back then, giving up 138 points. And in 3 quarters, Boston scored 36 or more. Luka had another triple-double versus Boston with 37, 12, and 11. For his career, he averaged 29.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists in his 11 matchups versus the Leprechaun. In those 11 games, Dallas won 5 of them, but they haven't won since March of 2022. Between then and February 2021, they won 4 straight games against Boston. In those 4 matchups, Dallas averaged just 3.5 margin of victory. This was when they still had Porzingis and Brunson. Besides the last last victory of 2022 as Porzingis was traded a month prior. For Jayson Tatum all-time, he's 9-5 versus Dallas, averaging 24.5 points and 9.1 rebounds. He won his last 4 meetings against Dallas, averaging 19.75 margin of victory. Anyway, back to the last meeting of this year. The biggest issue for Dallas in this game was their 3-point shooting. They went 9 of 34, while Boston went 21 of 43. In 2023, Dallas went 0-2 versus Boston, but Luka dropped 42, 8, and 9 without Kyrie in a losing effort. So at the very least, we do know Luka has the capability to scorch Boston. The Mavs in 2023 were 24th in defensive rating. In this season, they jumped to 18th at 115.4. If you look at this rating since March, it improved even more so at 109.4. So the Mavs are slowly getting better and better at their former weakness. Kyrie versus Boston all time, he's 12-14, averaging 23.3 points and 5 assists. But the last time he beat Boston came way back on April 23rd of 2021. It was essentially a Jayson Tatum versus Kyrie show as Jaylen Brown and Kevin Durant did not play. In the meeting prior, he also beat Boston and dropped 40. And to make things even juicier, the meeting before that, he sprinkled 37 points in the Garden, helping Brooklyn win by 28. So finally, it's time for my prediction. I really do believe that being battle tested is a big advantage. The Mavs defeated 3 true title contenders on their way to the finals. All 3 playoff teams that they faced had 51 wins or more. You can't say the Celtics even beat 1 true title contender. For that reason alone, I'm going Mavs in 6. But no matter how the series plays out, I won't be surprised unless one of the teams sweep. This is set up to be a classic NBA Finals, with some of the juiciest narratives that we'll be telling our kids about. Have you heard of the time when Kyrie Irving went into Boston and